let's have a look at Unix. Now, Unix is a particular type of operating system. In Comp 1007, we're going to be using Linux. Now, Linux is a variant of the Unix operating system, and I would highly recommend as, computing professionals, that you look up Linus Torvalds and see who he was and what he did. Unix is probably a totally different operating system to what you're used to. And that's all right. We're learning, so you're learning a new operating system. Now, it provides a vast array of tools and ability to do a whole lot of processing and development and some really cool, amazing things. We say that usually comes at a cost of some of the more challenging interfaces to use with it, okay? But don't be concerned, you'll be learning all of these things as you work throughout your degree. Now, the Mac OS is actually a Unix operating system and has been since Mac OS X was introduced over 20 years ago. Oh, and also Windows now, within Windows, you can actually download and have into it the Ubuntu tools, and really Ubuntu is a type of Linux, and you can get that straight up and into it. The other thing you need to be aware of is, as computing professionals, okay, it's really important that you have an excellent familiarity and a great understanding of Unix/Linux, because it is an essential working environment for computing professionals. We're going to be using this thing called the command line interface. Now, the command line interface is often what you see in movies. People are typing away and you get these little things, and then you might have some scrolling text, the Matrix and things like that, and they'll be running through things and they'll go, oh my goodness, back it up. And they go, there it is, there's the line of code that's launched the whatever, okay? Doesn't work that way, but the command line interface is what you usually see. Now, it's composed of a prompt. Okay, so it's composed of a prompt, and let's take a look. On my system here in this image, that's what my prompt looks like, but sometimes you'll find it's just an underscore, it might be that, or something flashing. That's what the prompt is, okay? Now, the command line, this is where we enter actual commands. So here along the command line, we can enter commands, we hit enter, and they will be executed. All right. Now, we've got the command line versus the GUI, the graphical user interface, which I will take a bold step and say, which is what pretty much all of you have been using. And some are going, well, David, I've done. Cool, that's great. If you're familiar with the CLI, with the command line interface, brilliant. Okay. If you're not, brilliant. You're going to be learning all about it. Now, the graphical user interface is pretty easy to use and to learn. Click here, click there, and move around. Nothing drastic. It becomes really inefficient when you have to deal with a repeated set of tasks that perform the same functionality. Now, some of you might be into automating things and stuff like that, and you might go, oh, on the Mac you can use Keyboard Maestro and you can do JavaScripting and da-da-da-da-da. And if you're going, the keyboard Java what script? What? It's all right. You are in an introductory programming unit, fundamental core unit to your degree, and that's okay. These things you will be learning, so relax. Now, the command line interface, what that requires really is an understanding of some of the concepts that power and drive the computer and allow it to run, okay? Now, we need a familiarity with the command language. What are the commands that we need to perform? And you will see that throughout your degree, you'll be learning these things. And as you start to get really good at it, or not so much even good at it, you start to get an understanding of it, you can go searching for things online. And you discover it can be really fast when you're using the command line interface. And when I say fast, I mean really fast. You pull it up, you go, you can't see that, you go, and it's done. Beautiful. Okay? And you can be really efficient when you need to carry out a lot of repeated tasks, things that are doing the same thing over and over and over again. So for instance, you might have a bunch of image files that you want to change all of their names. Really straightforward. You might want to, as you will do in the first practical, you will create 10 directories. Now you'll be able to create them one at a time, or get your tutor to show you how do we do 10, I've lost my thought, boom, 10 pracs, 10, I'm not going to cut this, so you get, even in the recordings, some of my stumblings, because I'm human. You get them, how do we execute a command that will create 10 numbered practical directories for us? Ask them that. So we're going to be using within this unit, okay, mostly the command line interface to do things. Now, for a lot of people, they'll start to go, oh, can I use this? Can I use that? And I can just click and compile. And I'm not going to say no, but I'm going to encourage you to use the command line interface, because that is going to be long-term beneficial in your computing career. So we've now got these things called shells, which is what you saw earlier. That command line interface, really the whole thing, is what's called a shell, okay? So it's called a shell. And what this is where it allows us to send commands straight down to the operating system as the user, okay? It allows us to communicate it allows us to directly communicate with things like the hardware, okay? Very cool, very nice. We're going to be using the bash shell, okay? Now the bash shell comes from born again shell. Very complicated stuff. You're going to see this with computer scientists. They're very lazy. I think they have word limits, okay? How many words they're allowed to say. They certainly didn't want to type too many words. So the bash shell. And this will be covered in depth in Unix and C programming. So we will touch on it and we will be using it. But we're going to this is what we need to do. This is what we need to do. This is how you do it. So we're not going to go into an in-depth understanding of it. But in Unix and C programming, you will go into that in great depth. Now, what you need to be familiar with are paths and directory structure within Unix. And the cool thing is, within Unix, I always got to get this going the right way, okay? Everything is a file in Unix and can be accessed via a direct path. That's right, it can be accessed via a direct path to it. Now, we're going to use the home directory, and the home directory to get there is shortened with tilde. And occasionally you'll see people with t-shirts on that says, there's no place like, and then you'll see the tilde. And that's just a computer scientist who will leave it at that. So the tilde allows us to access home from anywhere, okay? So what do I mean by that? Well, here I'm going to change directories, and it doesn't matter at this point in time where I'm at within the operating system, okay, and the structure of it, okay? It makes no difference where I am, because when I say cd, now cd means change directory, and I say tilde. So let's say I'm right down here, and this is tilde, okay, home. What it does, it says start at home. So I'm going to, now even though I'm here, when it changes the directory, it starts from here and then /dam. So it's going to go, and we'll pretend this is dam. It's going to go to dam. Okay, and then to documents, and I'm going to create another one called PDI, which should be below it. So it goes there, there, and there. And now I will be in, sorry about that, because I disappear in the sound. Okay, what happens is I've now changed directories, and I've gone all the way down in, and you can see where I'm colouring in there, into that directory there. Even though I started here, I said that doesn't matter, let's just now change directory from there, and that's what we've done. Now, we can use direct paths from the root directory, and the root directory is that. So what do I mean? Here I'm going cd / okay, so / and then I go, I want to be in the home, dam, documents, PDI. And so in this one, I'm starting all the way from the root and then going out from there. Okay? Now, it's important that you specify correctly, otherwise you'll end up in the wrong place, or you won't end up anywhere. A little bit like, in one sense, your GPS. If you put something into Apple Maps or Google Maps, if you put the wrong address, you're going to end up in the wrong place. If you're going to put an address that doesn't exist, it's not going to take you anywhere. Okay? So things that we need to be aware of. Okay? Now, common bash commands. CD, we've already talked about, change directory, and it moves us to the directory that we've specified. So I'm saying change directories into documents. Now, this assumes, because of the way I've typed it, that I'm in a directory in which documents exists. Okay? Now, you're hearing me say this word directory. Okay? Now, a directory in the terms of Windows and a Mac, a directory is a folder. Logically equivalent to a folder. It's the same thing. Okay? Copy. We want to copy a file. Right click, blah, blah, blah. No. We go CP. Okay? Again, these short ones. And what we do is I want to copy this file here, source.txt. So I've copied it and I'm told where to copy it to, destination.txt. So this file is created and what was in here is now in there. So we've just made a duplicate of that file. Move, MV, okay? I'm going to move this time source.txt to destination.txt. So when I've moved it, what that means is the source.txt no longer exists because it's now called destination.txt. The original file got moved. A few more commands. ls, okay? ls, list everything in the directory. If you type ls and hit return, I go ls and then return. Whenever you see me drawing that shape, that just is return, I'm going to get a listing of everything within the current directory. If I go ls space -al, I'm going to get everything along with the hidden files. All right? Make directory. Make directory. Brilliant. Okay, so I'm going to get make directory, and once I've done make directory, okay, what I'm going to have occur is I'm going to make a directory. All right, this is what I want to do, and I've made a directory called PDI_practicals. Remove RM. Crucial. Okay, remove assignment file.txt. Now, something to be really aware of: when you use the rm command, it removes it and it's gone. RF is forcing things, okay, and I'm now going remove a directory is what I'm telling it to do, and it's going to remove it and it will be removed forever. So that's some stuff about Unix.